You're listening to the Packernet Podcast Network.
Precisa ferir a pressão, medir a glicemia ou tomar uma vacina? Na Drogasil tem exames, testes e calendário vacinal completo. E o que é melhor, tem sempre uma Drogasil aí perto de você. É fácil, prático e rápido. Dá para ir entre uma música e outra. Procure nossos farmacêuticos. Quanto mais você conhece o que a gente faz na Drogasil, mais você se cuida.
You feel this nervousness on the phone there?
Sir, I've been trying to make an urgent phone call up there.
I don't think it's something I want to do on an overseas phone.
You gotta make some phone calls. Hang up the phone. Prank caller.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to Packernet After Dark. This is the call-in show, the Packernet Podcast Network. If you'd like to call in, if you'd like to participate in this here show, please feel free to do so. The phone number here is 608-501-0718. New callers go directly to the front of the line. We haven't had a new caller in a long time. I know it's the off season, so we get mostly diehards listening that stick around. But the season's firing back up, man. We got to start our evangelizing, you know what I mean? We got to get some new blood in here. Nothing wrong with old blood, just saying. Could use some new blood. Also, because we just had a preseason game and whatnot, I want to make sure we get the newest first, so I'm very sorry. We're just going to be working in reverse. It's just how I choose to do it, to make the content as good as we possibly can, and that, to me, makes the most sense. So that's what we're going to do. I think everything's all ready to rock and roll. Let me just check. But it looks like we're going pretty good here, so why don't we get started with Omar, the firefighter.
Omar, the firefighter, how you doing?
Hey.
Calling you on my PT job. So, hopefully y'all can hear me well in this Bluetooth in here in this vehicle. I get to drive around people that are not alive.
You know, as somebody who watches a lot of horror movies, that's got to be an interesting job to have. I just got done watching, I watched 2 movies recently. The family just left, so I'm trying to get the podcast in so I can go do movies. It was podcast, movie, and then I was like, let's do another movie. And now it's like, all right, we got to seriously do a podcast now. But I saw The Taking of such and such. I don't remember, something about Alzheimer's patient or whatever. It was okay. And then The Purge, which is not maybe so much a horror, but suspenseful, more or less anyways. I wouldn't want to be doing that job right now, I guess is all I'm really trying to say.
So that's interesting. I don't have to worry about anybody complaining. And if I did hear somebody complain, I have a real problem. But I've watched enough horror movies, as you know, to survive such things.
You know what to do.
Anyway, I was just calling, speaking of horror movies, I was listening to the podcast. It's about maybe 3 podcasts behind, 4 podcasts behind.
Sure.
And you were mentioning how you watched a horror movie, and then the acting was so bad, but you stuck it out and you ended up enjoying it.
Yeah.
Then you didn't say the name of the movie. So I'm sitting here like, what movie is he talking about? He was like, it's a great, awesome. He didn't say the name of the movie. So, I don't know if you forgot the name of the movie, but you could at least say, hey, this is what happened. Like, this guy came out, from the sand, and he did this, like something. He gave nothing, so I was looking forward to...
All right, let me think. So I think I saw it on the Plex deal. I wonder if it tells me what movies I watched recently. I just watched Talk to Me, which is not the one. What happened in that movie? So there was, hold on, I'm picturing it now. Oh, all right. So I don't want to give it away, but it had to do with Malignant. That's what it is. I went and asked the robot. Malignant was the name of the movie. 2021, let's see here. Horror film, main character Madison discovers the visions she's been experiencing of gruesome murders are actually real. And then I won't read what the twist is because it's somewhat interesting. But I remember watching in the beginning and it was so rough that I just thought, I can't do this. Like, I can't frickin' do it. But I stuck it out. You probably seen it. It's a 2021 movie. It was on I must have seen it on a list somewhere, so I'm guessing you've seen it. But yeah, that would fall into the category of horrible acting, and I stuck it out, and it was okay. Honestly, that taking of, was it Emily Rose or whatever, that acting in that was a little iffy as well. Not as bad, but it was kind of cheesy. And then with The Purge, the only thing that was the most suspenseful thing about that is how stupid everybody was every second. Like, why does everybody just keep running away? Where are you going? Come back. Like, bro, there's people trying to... Why are the kids just running away all the time? Anyways.
See what movie you were referring to, and then boom, I ain't get nothing. So, did work on that. You let us know what movie that was. I want to say I called about the last movie that I watched. I won't talk about movies. Since it's the season, I'll focus more on football. I enjoyed the preseason game. I don't want people to get too excited because a lot of the starters didn't play for their defense. Like if Myles Garrett played and we didn't give up a sack, then I'm feeling like love. But I'll feel worse if the starters didn't play and we played like crap.
Right.
So the fact that Jordan Love went down the field, did his thing, and got out there, and the other QBs didn't look too terribly bad. I didn't really like how Dillon was running. And I was thinking maybe it was the whole line. But then, when the other back, dang, why I forget that running back name? I like him. You know what I'm talking about. The one who made the team last year. That's so sad that I know his name. And I don't know his name. Anyway, he did a good job. He like balled out. I was enjoying that. And then even like the fifth string running back didn't look horrible. So I was like, is that just Dillon or is it because he's playing against the third or fourth for the other team? I don't know, but maybe a combination of both. But anyway, I enjoyed it. Looking forward to the next one. I wanted to call to see what was your concerns after the first game, but I'm sure you'll probably talk about that, or we'll talk about that. But my concern is, I don't want to say, I don't know if it's the offensive line. I didn't get to catch all of it. Oh, I'm running out of time. Oh, well. Y'all be good.
All right, we'll get to part two, but, oh, shoot, I was going to say so I don't forget what you're saying. Oh, A.J. Dillon. Yeah, I mean, I've kind of already spoken a decent amount about Dillon. I'll talk a little bit more about it with some stats to back it up. We got some PFF numbers for tomorrow. I saw there was some debate on social media about A.J. Dillon, and it kind of revolves around the fact that he had nowhere to run, and I think that that's kind of fair. I mean, there's some dispute on that as well. A couple of still shots or whatever of like, hey, there's kind of a hole there you maybe could have run through. Maybe not, though. Who knows? The NFL moves fast. If you push play on that, sometimes those holes close up pretty fast. The point is, though, a lot of guys didn't have much to work with, and they make things happen. And that's the thing. You can look at a play, is the point I make tomorrow, but you can look at a play and see a guy run into nothing and just go, well, there was nothing there. What you don't see is what would have happened if we had Aaron Jones there? What would have happened if we had Marshawn Lloyd there? What would have happened if we had Josh Jacobs now I can't remember his name. Anyways, if we had had those guys there. Because, again, look at Marshawn Lloyd's one carry. There was nothing there. It was a wall. He bounced it real quick to the outside. Somebody was there again. He bounces it again, races to the outside, and picks up 8 yards. I think he had 6 yards after contact. So, I mean, he had one carry for 8 yards, and 6 of that came after contact, and Josh Jacobs was similar. The majority of his, I don't even know if I saw his one run, but the majority of his yards came after contact. A.J. Dillon had nothing after contact. And he's your big bruiser. So it's a little unfair to judge him based on that little sample size. Obviously, if you give him more attempts, he's going to have a couple good ones mixed in. But I just think the bigger problem with A.J. Dillon is you're watching it and just saying, this is what I feel like I've been seeing from him. It's not like this is our only sample size and I'm judging him based on this sample size. It's that this contributes to a much larger sample size that looks very similar to this small sample size, and I don't like it very much. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't really know what's going to happen with Dillon. We'll have to see, but I think he's going to have to step it up because I don't, as much as it seems crazy, again, we offered him basically no money. So the idea that, we have to roll with him, I don't know, man. I think if Marshawn Lloyd gets healthy and is able to have a larger workload next week and we can see it, Emmanuel Wilson is the name I couldn't think of. He continues doing his thing. Josh Jacobs looks good, and now we've got another undrafted free agent who had a heck of a good game, and seems to be like if we're talking about him as a potential number 4, even with Dillon gone, I think we're okay. You know what I mean? Not saying you necessarily want that to be your case, but I think you'll survive, especially since, again, how much worse is he than Dillon? I don't know, but part 2 for Omar.
As long as Omar fight again, call back because I had to hit my football stuff in. I forgot what my concern was, unfortunately.
Bro,
so I'm losing brain cells.
Tell me about it.
Other things. But I did enjoy Grant DeBose.
Yes.
I enjoyed that. Like, I liked him when we drafted him, and I kind of looked up his highlights, and he looked like maybe he could be a steal, And I'm loving that he's balling out. And
yeah, I mean, when we got him, you look at the highlights, and I mean, I saw him similar to how I saw Romeo Doubs. There wasn't this massive amount of separation. He didn't seem to be this elite route runner like you kind of see with Wicks. I didn't really see that as much. He's a big body guy that knows how to use his body to create, not like separation where he just leaves a guy in the dust, but he knows how to like gear down a little bit, create that separation so the ball's put in the right spot. He has a good feel for the game. Again, big body. He knows how to go get it. You look at that toe tap drag on the sideline, like that kind of stuff. He does the best with what's available to him based on his physical characteristics. So I do think that there's a ceiling for DeBose, and I think that's probably why he was drafted where he was drafted. But he's just another guy where if we can just get 100% out of him, we got a good football player. And I tell you what, we're getting pretty close to 100% out of just about everybody. We have to circle back to our wide receiver coach and start asking some questions about how much longer this guy's going to stick around, because everybody's breaking out right now. And it could be Gutekunst, it could be the wide receiver coach, it could be a combination of both, or Jordan putting the ball on him, or just the culture, or Matt LaFleur, or whatever the case is, I don't know. But the hit rate for this team and wide receivers right now is kind of stupid. And by hit rate, I'm not talking number 1 elite Justin Jefferson guy. I'm just saying, you look at them and you say, what do you expect? They're at least that good, if not better. At least. Who's underachieving? The only one I can even think of would be Christian Watson due to injury. That's it. Jaden Reed exceeded all of our expectations year 1. Dontavian Wicks massively exceeded expectations. Romeo Doubs has exceeded expectations. Grant DeBose has exceeded expectations. Who hasn't exceeded expectations? Even Samori Toure, as much as everybody wants him gone, he's already, in my opinion, at least met the expectations of a 7th-round pick. So, I don't know, man. It's a wild group.
I think he took Malik Heath's spot off top, the way he's playing. He's playing excellent. So, anyway.
Heath is another one. Why would anybody expect anything from Heath? Not that he's done a ton, but those times when he's been called up, he's there. He's there to be that Geronimo Allison that can pick up a 3rd down once in a while,
That's what I just wanted to hit and figure out who did you enjoy, who were you a little let down by with the first game, and see if they can get better. All right, go back, go.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, the only guy, so there's, and again, I don't want to give away too much for tomorrow. There was 3 guys that I listed as potential negatives. One was definitely a negative. The other 2 were offensive linemen that had penalties. Spoiler alert, the 2 offensive linemen that I highlighted as being somewhat negative were the 2 best pass blockers on the entire team. They actually had really good days. And the one guy who had a really bad day as a receiver, Bo Melton, that we know about, was the highest graded run blocker on the entire team. And we know that that's not what Bo Melton is. So if Bo Melton can continue to be a really good blocker, on top of all the speed and everything else he has, and kind of just gets over that day and gets back to the Bo Melton that we know that he can be. I mean, Matt LaFleur is going to love. First of all, Matt LaFleur loves his speed guys. There's no doubt about it. Didn't want to let go of MVS, insisted on Christian Watson, gets Bo Melton. You know he wants this guy, and he can block. You got an MVS that can block? Come on, dude. That guy's not going anywhere. Unless he has another bad day like that, but we know that was uncharacteristic. So, I mean, as far as letdowns, there are a couple. I'll save them for tomorrow's podcast. Not much, though. really not. Even some of the defensive guys that got some lower grades, I don't care. There's a handful of guys that really kind of dominated as pass rushers, but had lower grades due to run blocking, tackling, etc. And I don't know, man. I just kind of roll my eyes at it like freaking whatever. I just don't care. All right, let's get to Jacob.
Packernet, Pack Daddy, what's going on?
What's up, dude?
Just got done checking on the preseason game we had with the Browns. Boy, it feels good to have football back.
Yep.
Quick question. I know, I'm not sure if we covered this. I haven't been listening as much because work has been absolutely insane recently.
I get it.
But the most intriguing offseason storyline for the Packers to me right now, and maybe I'm in the minority here, is the backup quarterback competition.
There's no competition.
Where are we at with Clifford and Pratt? Because I don't know, man. Like they clearly wanted to bring Pratt in, being that they drafted him, right? I mean, they look pretty solid. I mean, is there a shot we keep 3? I mean, I wouldn't be opposed. I know it's probably not going to happen, but yeah, I mean, has there been any I don't know. I haven't been keeping up with training camp. Like, where are we at with Pratt versus Clifford? Thanks.
So the standard answer that I would usually give for something like this would be, let's not overreact. Clifford's going to get the job, and Pratt's going to go on the practice squad, and he'll be fine. He won't get taken. That would be the normal response whenever we go through this, and it's like a running back, wide receiver, whatever. These things come up all the time. However, quarterback is not running back. Quarterback is not tight end. It's a very important thing. And there's a lot of teams that could need a quarterback, and Pratt has been nothing if not phenomenal since day one. He hasn't had a bad day in training camp. He hasn't had a bad day in the preseason game. He was one of the highest graded quarterbacks, up there with Jay Love. Not quite that high, but really high. I don't know that I could guarantee that he would be safe. I mean, there's very few people that actually get stolen. But a rookie quarterback that's showing out to, proving to be kind of a stud is somebody that you could expect to get taken. So how do you handle that? I don't exactly know. Could they possibly put Pratt on the 53 and stash Clifford because he's less likely to get taken? I think that that's possible, but I just don't have a feeling that they would do that. I also struggle to see them actually carrying 3. I know there is that one exception now in terms of game day dresses, but it still impacts your 53-man roster. So I don't know. I don't know. I think as we get closer into this whole 53 thing, I know some people have already started it. I really haven't a ton, aside from just kind of random hypothetical questions like this. I think it's something that is going to actually need to have some serious contemplation above and beyond just sort of my form answer, because it is more of a serious question. And the Packers also do take, not just other teams wanting it, the Packers take quarterback very seriously and drafting and developing and flipping, if not holding on if possible. And they might have actually just hit on one in Pratt. I know it feels unlikely, but again, I watched the guy in college. Not that it matters, but I'm going to believe because I watched him and said I would take this guy in the first round. So certainly the second round. I'm probably wrong about that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I was right and everybody else is wrong. I'm just saying that's why I'm looking at it going, no, I think it's real. But also, I mean, you can look at a guy like Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant. He's having a good run at it. So it's certainly not impossible. I think he has what it takes. I think there was an expectation of a steep learning curve for him because he's a good football. I mean, he's a really good college football player. There's no doubt about it. But it's an entirely different system. It's a much higher level of competition. I think it's kind of similar to like Christian Watson, where you just think, well, it's going to take him some time to acclimate, and he comes in and kind of just tears it up pretty quickly. It didn't take all that long for him to acclimate. There was a couple weeks, but it wasn't a couple years. So I don't know. Maybe that's kind of just what's going on. I think the Packers were not anticipating that, so I think there was just an automatic plan of we'll just stash Pratt, and hopefully then in a couple years it can be something. But if he continues doing what he's doing, I don't know that you can risk it. I just don't. I don't want to be that guy that overreacts and is like, well, we have to keep everybody because all our guys are going to get stolen. But this is way too valuable to screw around with. So I will just hit pause on that. I don't know that there's enough on tape right now to make you overly worried. But if this continues, you're going to have to ask some questions, I would think. So why don't we take our first break? We'll come back, and we got a little Nico from Idaho.
Hey, Ryan, how you doing?
Hey there.
Where's my notes? Oh, okay. So this is Nico. Oh,
You got
man,
notes?
I just watched all the highlights of the game from YouTube. I was working. I was listening to your live broadcast when you were sort of having a mental breakdown in the beginning. That was amazing.
A little bit.
It reminded me of like 2018 Ryan. I love 2018 Ryan, just so you know. The screaming. I know that the other guys that have the Packernet podcast, when they have the clips, the how dare you and the true and national depression, they need to save some of your quotes from tonight and just replay them because they were very classic. Anyways, so I watched the game. Overall, it was pretty good. It's kind of what you want to see. I thought Van Ness had some good plays. And that's what you want to see from him. You want to see him make some plays while he was out there. He did. I already heard you mention this. Dillon, honestly, he might have lost his. He might not be a Packer at the beginning of the season.
Yeah. Keep pausing the wrong one. I'll back that up a little bit. But I listen. If somebody would have said that prior to the training camp or whatever, just relax. I mean, he's gonna be. I think I did essentially say he's gonna be the number 2. So just brace yourself. It's gonna happen. But again, I mean, we know Josh Jacobs is number 1. We haven't seen Marshawn Lloyd, which could be A.J. Dillon's saving grace. But what we have seen of Lloyd, he's been impressive. That we know that they like him. The fact that we're not paying Dillon just really makes it feel much more flimsy. Emmanuel Wilson picked up right where he left off last year. And again, now we've got, I should get his name so I don't just keep calling him that guy. But the undrafted free agent running back that we got, Mr. Jarvion Howard, who looked really, really good. No offense to Alice Merriweather, but Jarvion Howard, I just feel like we got some guys, and it's not even just that we have other options. It's not just like, man, Dillon is really good, but we got so many guys, like if it was a money thing. If we were paying him $10 million or whatever, but we could cut him, it's like, oh man, it sucks to get rid of him, but we could save, $7.25 million if we got rid of him, and I think we could manage with the guy. It's not even about I think we can manage. It's about I don't want A.J. Dillon to spell Josh Jacobs because he can't do it. And whatever it is we think Jarvion or Wilson or Lloyd can't do we think Dillon fills that hole? Again, the only one I'm thinking of is receiving and blocking, and I'm quite sure Marshawn Lloyd is a pretty good receiver. I'm not sure about Emmanuel Wilson or Jarvion Howard. So then it just comes down to blocking, and honestly, I mean, do we know Dillon's a good blocker? This is worth looking into for sure. But yeah, I think I've completely done a 180 on that one because I mean it's maybe no more than 50-50, but I'm just not so sure anymore.
I love the guy. He's so cool. He's like the nicest guy in the planet. We actually, at my work, we just let a guy go who just couldn't do the job, but he was the nicest guy. And it sucked because, you want to keep that guy, but he just didn't produce.
Yeah.
That's Dillon. So Wilson looked really good. The guy just makes cuts fast, quick. Lloyd, in the limited carries he had, looked like he could be just lightning in a bottle.
Sure.
Man, just so good. Defensively, 22 made some plays, 33 made some plays. They were in the beginning of the game, so I'm assuming it's their high draft picks. I ain't looking. The defensive line seemed to have a lot of pressures. Overall, it was a good game, Obviously, Love and Wicks, that was amazing. Two passes and a 65-yard touchdown. You're good. I think they'll just get kind of better as the starters play more. I think Pratt will end up being the number 2. I tell you, it was a good game, I can't wait to see it when starters play a little bit more. I hope Pratt gets second quarterback playing to the next game.
Yeah.
And go back home.
Well, I tell you what, talk about getting excited. You mentioned 33, the safeties, the two safeties that were out there, the two rookie safeties that were out there. I tell you what, man, I'm pretty excited. I think Williams I've been excited about since day one, and he has not disappointed. I don't think Bullard has been as loud, not quite as good maybe, but he also might be a little bit more of a well-rounded safety. He looked solid in that game. And I saw the not only the stats and PFF grades, which back it up, he had a pretty good day, but then there's some of the highlights. I mean, these guys just working downhill, both of them, man. They are just locked in, eyes where they need to be, flying, just shot out of a cannon going. Good job tackling, not like some of these other guys that we've had, which, you know, you appreciate the effort, and they go sprinting after somebody as fast as they can, but they're just not getting the job done. The tackling was certainly on point. So really, really happy about that. Nico, part 2, what's going on?
Hey, this is Nico again. I forgot to mention, I kind of wanted to say this when I called first, but I forgot. I was just the defense, the scheme looked really good.
Yeah.
The one thing I noticed that, and it wasn't 100%, but there was a lot of really good contained plays where a running back was, going outside and someone contained really good and had to turn inside and they got tackled. That's why you want to hold your edge, and that's one of my complaints about the Packers defense is they never hold an edge. You just run to the left or right on the offense, you're probably going to get around our defense.
Well, and on top of that, I mean, a lot of the edge contain, it's not even the edge guys. I mean, you got Stokes coming up and making plays. You got the safeties coming up and making plays. Again, this defense just, it's all eyes in the backfield, and everybody's coming straight downhill. So you look at it, and it's like, you got to beat these guys. And if you can beat, let's say, Rashawn to that side, now you got the linebackers coming. And if you can beat the linebacker to the edge, you got a corner coming downhill, and you got a safety coming downhill. Again, that may make you a little bit more susceptible to, some trickery and all that kind of stuff. But as far as just a straight-up run play, so far, so good. I mean, I don't want to project out too far, but I'm just happy. I mean, again, if nothing else, they seem to understand what they're doing a lot more than they did with Joe Barry. Regardless of which scheme is better, this, that, or the other, they didn't have any idea what to do with Joe Barry. They were constantly lost. They were constantly in the wrong place. With this, it just seems easy. I mean, it's one of those things you look at it and just go, why did it seem so hard? This doesn't seem that hard. There's a guy there. He ran forward and tackled him. Like, there's just a guy in the right spot. Like, why didn't Joe Barry do that? Just put a guy there, and then when somebody runs, you tackle him. Right? I don't get it. Like, somebody got around the edge, but there's a corner there, and he tackled him. That seems legit, right? Stokes, by the way, had a really good day also.
And they just, really, I know one of the stops for a loss that Van Ness had was because I think it was Stokes.
Yeah.
Had a contain, they turned the guy around, and he had to get sacked. Or he tackled behind the line. There was a couple of those plays that, especially in the beginning of the game, it was mostly starters. Once the starters leave out, to be honest, they just kind of wing it. When the starters were there, the defense did such a good job of containment. And that is everything, man.
It's suffocating.
Just had to put that in there. Hey, a good pick, a goal.
Yeah, I mean, all the best defenses, I've said this before, they're just suffocating. It just seems like there's always guys there. It feels like you're playing with 13 guys. And I don't know if it was fully to that point, but I mean, just go back and go back into your memory bank or just go back and watch the game. If they try to run the ball, there's just a lot of guys there. If they try to pass, there's bodies there. If somebody catches a pass, there's two guys tackling them. How can they load the box and have a lot of guys in space and have two guys wherever somebody else is? Even if they catch it, there's a bunch of guys there to wrap up and make a tackle. It's that is, to me, that is the hallmark of a great defense. I don't really care if you're doing 3-4, 4-3, the Vic Fangio defense or whatever defense you want it to be. I don't really care. That's what a good defense looks like, and it sucks playing against them. It sucks because somehow Your quarterback is constantly under pressure, and you can't run, and nobody's ever open, and everybody's getting swarmed. So as soon as you get a pass off for 5 yards, there's 4 guys that are hitting him so he doesn't get a 6th yard. You know? It's just insane. And again, I'm not saying it was quite that good, but it had the hallmarks. It showed the flashes. And most of the defense that we saw were our backups. So I am very excited to see what our starters can do, especially as they start to get more and more familiar. They understand a little bit more. You know, you get more on tape. That's the other good thing about this is, you know, you go out and you practice, and then it seems like everybody understands it, and then they actually have to go out and execute it. Well, now they're doing stuff wrong, and this is great for Hafley and the rest of the coaches, because now they can sit down and find out what actually isn't sinking in and be like, okay, now that I see that you're not quite getting that, let me show you this. Or, you know, remember when I said this? This is why, because if you don't, then da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So getting this stuff on tape is going to be supremely helpful. And then obviously as you get into the regular season and they're actually unveiling the real defense as opposed to the vanilla defense, it's going to be an even deeper education, I guess, as far as really understanding what needs to be done. It's going to be harder, but it's just also going to get better. So looking forward to that. Let's take our final break. We'll come back. We've got a lot of 1265 fan. We'll try to run through those as fast as we can. But we better take a break first before we do, because there are 5 calls. Actually, there's 6, but Washington Metro snuck in, so we're not going to get to that other one, I don't think. Maybe. I don't know. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Looks like 1265 was just calling in throughout the game, but let's just start here. We'll pick a random one, and then we'll run through them in order.
All right, so far so good.
Yeah.
Wilson got a touchdown.
Yo.
Andres made his field goal.
Yep.
It's been pretty good. It's been pretty good. I mean, 17-3. Can you complain at halftime?
No.
I don't think we can complain. And these are our backups. I didn't pay attention to see if Cleveland's backups are in. But anyway, like it so far. Really like it so far. Okay, I'm like more than half a pizza in, and I'm really full.
Now, are we talking like a freezer pizza? Because if you're full, I gotta say this. This is some fat man talk here. Those like wafer thin frozen pizzas. If you're full eating a half of one of those, I don't think we can be friends. Because dude, I will throw down a whole one of those, and then I'm looking around like I'm kind of hungry. Like we got to make another pizza or something. Now, if it's a little bit one of the thicker ones, I'll still eat a whole one, but, you know, I'm probably done after that. A half of one? I mean, I'm hoping you actually ordered like a real pizza if you're full eating half of a pizza, is all I'm saying. Because, I don't know, man. I don't know. I eat whole pizzas. That's how I roll.
I better get up and move for the second half or something. Maybe do some cheerleading moves or something. Nobody's here to see me. So
nobody's there. You should.
I gotta do something.
If you're home alone and you're not doing some stupid stuff, like I haven't really done anything super stupid. Plus, I'm kind of stupid when my family's home. But you got to do something. Otherwise, you feel like you squandered your time alone. You know, you got to like sing a song or I don't know, break something. Or now I'm feeling inadequate because I don't know what to do. I think. Sometimes I just sleep on the couch. I don't know why. It's not comfortable, but it's like, because I can. Got the big TV in the living room. I'm just going to sleep here. Do whatever I want. Plus, you can get like a bag of chips or something. I don't know. It's so stupid. Especially like when you don't drink. Like, what am I going to do? It's not like I'm going to sit here and get hammered. I don't know. I watch movies, I guess. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. But yeah, do some cheerleader moves.
Because it's going to be bad. It's really good, though. I got a taco pizza, like a Mexican style pizza, frozen pizza, and it's really good. Really good. Hobbs, come on.
Wouldn't be my
Sorry.
style, but yeah.
Talking to my dog. He's getting in front of me now, and I'm not done with my pizza. Get out of here. Okay. Well, anyway, talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I'm not into the taco pizza so much because usually they put like peppers and stuff on it. I'm not into that, but I mean, if you want to throw some of that just ground beef crap on it and a little bit of nacho cheese or something, I can make it work. But start putting lettuce and tomatoes and stuff on there, I'm not doing that.
Look at our Packers defense, and they get the ball on the fumble. Punched it out. Beautiful. Go, Pack, go. Love it. Guys having fun yet? I am. Okay, bye.
Yeah, they gave credit to that. PFF did to AJJ, by the way. Just an interesting little tidbit. But, again, as I mentioned before, you have a defense that specifically wants turnovers. They're emphasizing it. Go get the ball, go get the ball, go get the ball. And that might have been more of an accident. Maybe it was deliberate to try to get a fist in there or try to get at that ball level or whatever. I don't really know. But when your defense is trying to emphasize takeaways, you've played one game and you got a takeaway, I'm happy with it. Let's keep it going.
Jiminy Crickets, how deep are the Packers? I mean, their frickin' roster is so deep. Wow, Brian Gutekunst. Applause to you.
Mm-hmm.
I can't applaud because my one hand is hanging out of the phone, and that would be... I drop the phone,
pizza.
and then, it doesn't...
I'd clap, but I'm holding pizza.
I'm telling you, Brian Gutekunst, you're the man. You're the man. Kalen King got out there, made a play. Sweet. It kills me, though. You know how hard it is not to say Kevin King? I'm sure you know how hard it is. Because I've made the mistake so many times. I know this. I know it's not his name. I get it. It's Kalen King. But I don't know how many times I say Kevin King. I mean Kalen King. It's ridiculous. It's just so stupid. Okay, bye.
And I don't want to be mean to Kevin King and say, I hate to make that comparison, but we shouldn't be making that comparison if we like Kalen King. I'm just going to say it. I'm happy for Kevin King. Saw that he made a play in the preseason the other day, so good for him and all, but I'm just saying. Yes, very deep roster as far as I'm concerned. Defense held up pretty much the entire game. Didn't give up a touchdown until our bottom of the bottom guys were out there. Pretty exciting. We got more preseason games coming up. Hopefully they all look as good as this one does.
I'm thinking that Michael Pratt looks pretty good.
I try to tell you.
And I'm thinking that Andres Carlson is going to keep his job.
Try to tell you.
And I want Andres to keep his job.
Yep.
Sometimes I think we're a little too impatient as a society, especially nowadays. Those are my 2 cents. 1265 out.
Zero disagreements on that. Michael Pratt looks great. Andres is going to keep his job. That's how that's going to go.
Well, that was a very pleasant game, don't you think?
Yes, I do.
Very pleasant. Now I wish I could go to Cops for custard because
love Cops so much.
Caramel cashew is my favorite.
Went to Grandma's house, and there's a Cops kind of close to her house, and we went and got it. Oh, it's the best. I love their custard so much. I just remember when I was a kid, because I grew up in Illinois. In Illinois, you don't really have custard. You have ice cream. Didn't really know there was a difference. Went to Cops, just got a dish of vanilla, and it just changed my world. Because ice cream is garbage. Ice cream is like hard, and it's just not good. And custard is it's just the perfect consistency. It's so soft, and it just, and then the burgers, oh my goodness. Cops is a thing of beauty.
But I don't need any more food, and I still have plenty here. There's no reason for me to get in my car and do that.
Fine.
So I'm just going to sit here and pout and not go get any custard. So there's that. Yeah, I was really proud of our team today. Pratt did great. I like it. I'm impressed.
I'm a fan.
And our defense looks damn good. Damn good. Damn good. Oop, scared the cat away. Okay, see ya, bye.
Oh, I hate to admit how much 1265 fan and I am alike. I do that all the time. Maybe we all do that a little bit. I do that with my kids all the time. Everything just becomes a song. Everything. Sometimes it's a song because somebody will say something and it's in a song, Where you'd be like, hey, Billy, and be like, Billie Jean. You kind of do that thing. Sometimes you just make your own song. You just feel like you got to belt one out. And you always go falsetto. You know what I mean? Whenever you're just making up your own song, damn good. Damn good. You know, it's just, I don't know why. I don't know. I don't know if it's just me in 1265 or if we all do that. I don't know. But I felt that on a cellular level when she just belted that out. Washington Metro, we're going backwards in time a little bit here. So what's going on?
Hey, Ryan. It's Washington Metro / Gabe from Austin.
What's up?
From a while ago. But I thought I'd call back in watching the first preseason game. And actually, just real quick, I got to say, I was watching it a little concurrently with the second half of USA gold medal basketball game, which I hope people caught some of because it was absolutely great. But, yeah, just got to say I'm having a lot of fun watching even just the first preseason game.
Can I just say real quick? And apparently I'm entirely out of the loop because I'm the only one that feels this way. I'm embarrassed at the fact that we're like so excited that the USA won gold in basketball. Bro, it should be a competition for second place. It's a battle for silver and bronze. The fact that it's even up for debate, the fact that it's even close, the fact that like it's not just a given that the United States, with people like LeBron James, can't win gold just automatically, like it's not even close, winning like 150-32, is embarrassing to me. Other sports, fine. Yeah, everybody swims. You know, there's other countries that do shoot guns, so that could be a little tricky, even though we should be the best at that. Running fast. You know, there's a lot of fast people in the world. But basketball, dude? Basketball? We allow like the best of the best from the NBA to play in the Olympics games against other countries' basketball teams, and it's competitive? Dude, that's embarrassing. So, just everybody like celebrating, like, oh, that was such a good game. It's like, well, that sucks. Sucks to suck, I guess. Well, we got gold. Like, yeah, barely. That's ridiculous. It's like if me and my son got into a boxing match and like I got a technical knockout in the 12th round. Like, I beat him. Like, bro, are you serious? It went to the 12th round? Should have just stepped in the middle of the ring. You socked him once in the eye and he quit. Walked off. He took it the distance? It's embarrassing.
Seeing some of our guys even down the roster just, you know, get some time out there. I like seeing our offensive line. I feel like, you know, doing a little bit better. You know, maybe in some of these practices, our defense is just that good. I mean, I admit I'm being optimistic, but, you know, summer and preseason, whatever. It's still a time to be optimistic. So until week 1, I'm just going to ride that wave. 3-play touchdown at the beginning. Let's go, Packers. And, yeah, hope you're seeing the end of the Olympics as well. Just a really fun Olympics this time around. All right, bye.
I mean, Olympics aside, I'm also with you as far as being hopeful. I mean, there is always the caveat that, yes, it's preseason. You know, we understand all that. But it's like I said with everything else. If the team was really good, if they were going to be a good defense, if Jordan Love was going to be a good quarterback, et cetera, what would you hope to see? Jordan Love coming out and throwing a 65-yard touchdown pass doesn't mean he's going to be MVP this year. But I'll tell you what, it makes me feel better about it than if he had come out, thrown a pick, and then got benched. You know, like, I'm just saying. It makes a little bit more sense to me. All right, I tell you what, let's button it up here because we're getting back into more 1265 and whatnot. We'll save that for tomorrow. I saw AA Ron just called in. We'll keep working our way backward and try to get caught up on this. But anyways, you guys have a good rest of your night. I will talk to you tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye-bye.